I'm Louise Lloyd, and I'm a home manager of a residential care home in Swansea. We have a home for the elderly, and we're a 40-bed home. 9 of the beds are dementia care, and 31 are residential supported living. And our aim is, to provide quality care for the elderly.
Okay, and what was it then that drew you to applying to come on this particular course?
Really, just to improve my management skills. I didn't come from the background that I'm currently in. I've changed career along the way, and suddenly finding myself managing 40 odd members of staff and 40 residents. The whole management and strategy process, I felt I needed development in, plus the IT aspect of it, where I'm not very educated on technology prior to this, and it's helped me sort of find a way in developing my skills and exploring what options are out there.
What effect do you think that this course has actually had in terms of your relationship with your workplace? Have you been able to implement any of the, things that you've learned from it?
Oh, definitely. Certainly in management meetings, I have far more structure,
right?
And that's been beneficial. Certainly, I perhaps understand a little bit more of the plan and the strategy that we have, whereas perhaps I was just sort of feeling my way through the process in the past. Certainly the reading for the assignments I found interesting, and found myself relating things to the workplace, and often sort of bring that in to meetings and implement certain things that I've learned from that.
You're sort of close to finishing the course now, actually, aren't you? You've not got that much longer. I think you've got another session, and then 2 assignments to submit as well by the end of August.
Yes.
Apart from your relationship with your workplace, do you think it's had any effect on you personally in terms of? In many ways,
I would say.
Okay, can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, interestingly, perhaps I haven't come from an extremely academic background. I've done sort of NVQs and so on, work-based things, but haven't as such done a degree. And I find myself sort of now thinking of words and analysing words differently, which is interesting. And yes, certainly the learning in the reading, I am using that in the workplace. So it could be something just like a spider diagram to analyse how we move forward on an option, but certain things like that you've read about structure and so on, and I find I'm using that. But yes, just in how I think sometimes, I think I do think of things differently.
And does that apply to outside of work then as well?
As well,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes,
right,
yes,
that's
yes.
Interesting.
I almost feel sort of there's growth as a person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Can you give me one example of something that you really enjoyed, or something that's been so different that you sort of really caught hold of it, that's happened during the course?
I've certainly enjoyed sharing with the other members of the course. So that's sharing experiences and knowledge, and I've found the group sessions very rewarding, and sort of certain things, trying to push myself outside my comfort zone. Maybe that's not one for getting up in front of the class or anything like that. So.
Do you think it's made a difference that it's a women-only group?
Yes. Certainly don't feel as intimidated as I would on another course. I certainly feel more comfortable. I don't think I would have gone up and given a demonstration of our workshop
Mm.
if it had been sort of a mixed group. It sounds very shallow, but
No, not at all.
but I felt more comfortable, and often by discussing things with a group, you find you're in the same position as somebody else, and that's comforting, that you can sort of share and glean things from each other.
In terms of the assignment that you're doing at the moment, which is your work-based learning module, would you like to tell me a bit more about what you're doing in terms of yours in particular?
Yes, the work-based learning is going to be a technology programme that we want to bring into the residential care home. We're very much paper-based at the moment, and it's about quality for the residents, quality of life for the residents, and really things to be accessible. So we want to bring in a technical system that there can almost be a signing in for the staff, where there's a nice sort of blog that they come into every morning, and if their compliments being given from a member of the residents or their families, then they can have those comments, as well as anything that we need to reach to all of the staff to communicate, and that in turn then with the residents, the care that they have to deliver, they don't have to spend hours writing books. They can touch screen what they've assisted residents with.
Is that in terms of their care plans? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
The speed will increase that they're completing those.
Okay.
And in turn that will provide more quality to the residents, because the carers will be freed up from writing books to go and spend time and take residents out. Rather than having to spend possibly 2 hours in the afternoon writing, what they've assisted residents with that day.
And so how are you going about doing that then? Are you at the moment writing the strategy for, what you're going to do in terms of implementing a system?
Yes. So we're at the strategy stage, business plan stage. Yeah. And inviting companies in for demos,
okay.
And seeing which would be the best way forward, really, to bring that into the home.
And are there many companies out there then that have got this? Because I'm quite interested in it.
Yes, there are quite a few. Certainly in the magazines, carehome.co.uk and things like that, they're all advertised there. So, but it's finding the right one that can provide not just maybe the care plans, but the HR side of it and the business aspect as well. So linking in possibly the fees and the accounts into that whole programme. So it's a whole sort of management system, and things can be very much at our fingertips rather than wading through files and spreadsheets and so on.
And it's quite a big investment, isn't it, doing something of that nature?
It
so
is.
You really feel that what you're going to invest in has got to work for you.
That's right.
But it's quite risky.
Yes.
In terms of taking.
Yes. So that's why the process isn't a quick process.
No.
I've obviously got to get my business partners on board with the idea. So after doing all the research and narrowing it down, then I obviously need to sell it to them as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right, one last question, which is, what would you say to someone else who was thinking about doing this course?
Oh, 100%. If you have the opportunity, please do it. It has been hugely beneficial, and we're not at the end yet, but I already see a change in myself and how I'm operating in my career and in work, how I conduct myself. I already see a change. Yeah.
Okay.